diamond in your ear. If this shit was Fortnite, then I wouldn't be on my tier. I no longer have anything that I fear. I don't give a fuck about opinions from my peers. Cause y'all wasn't with me, man, y'all slept on me for years. I jumped back, then I shifted into new gears. I took off, left y'all niggas in the rear. Now I got them shocked like them headlights.
What's up, y'all? What's giddy? It's your girl Zeze back with another motherfucking video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that shit. Turn on the notification bell. Share this video, all that. I'm trying to figure out what I don't know why my lashes look slightly different. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I mean, my eyes make this eye look a little smaller. That's what maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. My shit. Whatever. Moving on. Today's video will be about black reparations. Black people getting reparations and the black agenda. It's kind of been trending, I guess you could say, lately. With this whole ADOS movement, African descendants of slaves or foundational black Americans. Yeah, this whole movement has kind of been growing bigger and bigger with a lot of black people, especially young black people, joining it. Like, nigga, we tired of the bullshit. We ready, you know what I'm saying, to get on code. You know what I'm saying, and get these reparations. Get on this black agenda. You know what I'm saying? Serious about this shit. So that's very nice to see, honestly, to see young black people, and not even just young, it's older black people in this movement as well. Older generational black people in this movement as well. That's really trying to push the black agenda forward and really trying to get black people on the same page. You know, so it's really good to see. Also, not only that, we have a lot of politicians that's been kind of, because of this movement, a lot of politicians have been getting asked these questions. A lot of the upcoming candidates, so more to speak, for next year's presidential election have kind of been getting asked asked these questions about black reparations and the black agenda. Like, do you have a black agenda? Do you believe in reparations? You know, so we're going to get into that in just a second, because I want to talk about a few of the responses that some of the candidates has had. Yeah, we're going to get into that in a second. So, real quick, black reparations, do I think we deserve them? Hell to the motherfucking yeah, we deserve reparations. Just like the Jews got them, just like Japanese, just like anybody else who has got reparations, just like they got them for going through whatever they went through, genocide, slavery, not slavery, but genocide, oppression, whatever the case may be, they have gotten their fair share of payback for that. We, as black Americans, has never gotten that. Our ancestors didn't even get it, which is another thing, because I know a lot of people get that, had this argument of, oh, well, you guys are just, you know, just the descendants of the slaves. You guys didn't actually go through slavery, so you don't deserve the reparations. That's bullshit, because our fucking ancestors never got reparations. That 40 acres and a mule shit never happened for real. So, no, we never really got any type of payback, and because of that, we've gone through more and longer systems of oppressions, and we still are and have been held back from certain things because of this. So, yeah, we definitely deserve reparations, but I don't think we're going to get them. Like, honestly, it's been motherfucking 400 plus years. Like, nigga, I doubt it at this point. Honestly, I very much doubt that we're gonna get them, but you know what I'm saying, I hope we do. I just doubt it, especially with these fuck ass politicians I'm about to get into. So, I don't think we realistically will we actually get reparations. But my thing is, even if we were to get reparations, will it really help the black community? And I only say that because, like, say we got reparations in a way of like a check. Like, everybody got like $100,000 check or some shit like that. Every black person got like $100,000 check or some millions. I don't know, some wild shit. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of money. Is that really going to help the black community as far as generational wealth? Is that really going to help the black community? I think right now in the state that we're in, it's not necessarily going to do that. Not if we don't get on the same page, and that's why I was talking about the black agenda, because everybody has to be on the same agenda first before we can do that. Because, I mean, just like how me and America got that check when we was 18, and it was like 18, we got like $20,000. That shit was gone within 6 months because we never had that amount of money yet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, ever before. So when we got that shit, it was just like spend. And we didn't go spend that shit on in black communities. You know what I'm saying? We didn't go to black designers and get clothes. We didn't go to, you know what I'm saying, black stores and or I didn't go to a black dealer and get my car. It wasn't like that. I went to the first motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, I could get a car from. I went to the mall. I went to H&M, went to, you know what I'm saying, Macy's, and went to wherever the fuck I went to get my clothes. You know what I'm saying? So it went outside of the community. So that's what I think that would kind of happen if we gave a whole, especially people like in the hood and the projects who has literally never even seen that amount of money before, $100,000, $1 million, whatever the case may be, 20,000, 50,000, however much the check may be. They're gonna go spend it outside of the community. They're not gonna go. Yeah, we're not going to go spend that back into our community, and that's what the problem is going to be, because we're just going to get all this money and it's going to benefit other people, or the same people that we've been supporting, which is these white-owned corporations and other, you know what I'm saying, other races, corporations, or organizations, and not ours, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, even with the money that we have now, that black people have now, is still not getting recycled back into our community. It's still going out. Niggas get a check, get their taxes, and go to Walmart and get TVs or some shit. Or when it's Black Friday, they're going to Walmart to get TVs, or going to fucking Target, or going to, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to black-owned businesses to do any things now with the little bit of money that we have now. So imagine giving somebody who ain't never had it like that a check. You think they're going, their first thought is going to be go to a black business and put it back into our community. And realistically, it's not. If we do get reparations, we definitely need to be on the same page beforehand, before we get these reparations, because if not, then it's not, we're literally just going to be like on a fucking treadmill. We're not going to be going anywhere with it, you know what I'm saying? So we definitely need to have an agenda on where we're going to put our money at, where we're going to invest our money in, to keep it in our community and to create generational wealth. Alright, now, without further ado, let's get into these motherfucking politicians, and we're going to start off with Senator Kamala Harris.
Listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit. Issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities. And we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole in the country.
Kamala Harris is talking about giving a tax credit to families. Notice she didn't say black families specifically. She said to families in low-income families is making under $100,000 a year, we give them a tax credit. Cool. Great. And she's saying this is going to affect the black community tremendously. It's going to affect black kids back. She did not say, I'm going to give black families making under $100,000 a year a tax credit. No, she doesn't want to say that. She's going to say, oh yeah, I'm going to give it to families making $100,000 a year, and we're going to give them a tax credit, and that's in effect, that's going to make a domino effect to the black community. How is that going to make a domino effect to the black community? That doesn't. No, that's going to affect a lot. That's going to affect more than just the black community. Even if it does affect the black community, you're talking about white community, Mexican community, immigrant community, Asian community. It's going to affect every community, not just black people. So that's not a black agenda. That is not. They didn't say do you have an agenda for low income families? That's one thing. That's what she's talking about. we're talking about black families. Like, what, you know what I'm saying? This they try to use these terms, and even matter of fact, she actually says, oh, well, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna create something that is just gonna benefit black people. I'm gonna create something that's gonna benefit the American people. Because whatever affects black people, benefits black people, it's gonna benefit the American people. How? Everything that affects the LGBT community doesn't affect every American. Everything that affects immigrants doesn't affect every American. Everything that affects low-income white people doesn't affect every American. So how when it comes to black people, a policy or anything that's for black people or supposedly for black people is going to affect every American? Explain to me that. It makes no fucking sense because it's not really for us. They try to make it seem like it's for us, but it's never really something geared directly. It's nothing specifically for us. They don't want to make it just for us. They want to make it for everybody, and then we end up getting up to the fucking bottom of the barrel. That's how it usually is. Not usually. That's how it always the fuck it is. If it ain't for us specifically, it's for everybody, which means that we're going to end up with the short end of the stick, and everybody else is going up with more. So stop with the trickery. Don't fall for that bullshit. No goddamn. No, we're not going for that shit. No. You know what? Since we already did the first black, they say she's black, but I don't really count her as black. First of all, both of her parents are immigrants, so she's definitely not a foundational black American, but, nah, she's not black. But anyways, going to the next black candidate, Cory Booker. Let's see what he got to say.
Black people. And if so, what is it?
Look, man, I as an African American, you know, as a black person, so much of the realities for all Americans, if you look at the lens of African Americans, they've been in many ways the conscience of this country from its founding. When we said we were going to be a nation of liberty and justice for all, the African American experience challenged the inadequacy of those words when it met reality. And so right now, you pick an issue. From maternal mortality rates to incarceration, the broken criminal justice system, to access to health care, you see African Americans having worse outcomes. And you address the issues of Americans, power African Americans, the very promise of America becomes real. Congress, we finally got a bill done. Now, it doesn't solve the problem, but it's the first time in our lifetime, after the prison population going up 500%, between the time I was in law school and the time I was mayor of Newark, we were building a new prison in this country like every 10 days. Finally, we have legislation that I was able to get done with people on the other side of the aisle that starts tearing down the institution of mass incarceration.
Agenda for these black people.
I have a specific agenda for the American people, which
includes uplifting black people.
Yeah,
but it's inseparable.
They always say rising tide lift all boats. We don't really see that in our communities.
Well, let me give you an example. I have a bill that got a lot of attention called baby bonds. It's a fancy name for saying that every person born in America should have an account created for them, thousands of dollars put in over time, $1,000 a time. And at the end, if you are low-income American, you have up to $50,000. And that addresses all Americans, but it actually helps the racial wealth gap in a significant way. You know, right now in America, you have about white families, in terms of wealth, I'm not talking about income, I'm talking about wealth. Blacks have about 1/10 of the wealth that white families do. In Boston, the average median wealth of a white family is about $250,000, a little more than that. The average wealth of an African-American family is $8. Now, a lot of people say, oh, that they just look at the present moment, but they forget that a lot of the programs that built the middle class in this.
Okay, first of all, we just gonna start off what he just said, what he said. He also says basically what Kamala just said. Oh, well, I don't have a black agenda. I have an American agenda. You're gonna find this pretty consistent with all these politicians because everybody wants to say, oh, it's for the American people, not just black people. Like this whole rainbow, united MLK bullshit ass, I had a dream, you know what I'm saying, united front type talk, when it's not like that. It's never really like that. It's just like that so you can get elected. Really. And then when you get elected, you'll get a little more specific to the groups that you actually are gearing your policies for, not fucking black people. But listen, let's see what he said. He wants to give a savings account to every person, every baby born in America, not just black babies. There we go again. To every baby born in America, he wants to create a savings account, and for everyone making under $50,000 or less, though. I mean, not what was it? Everyone making born have an account created for them. If you have, for all low income Americans, you'll have a chance to get $50,000 after this. You know what I'm saying? For the savings account, basically. Again, same concept. It is not directly geared towards black people. And he's saying that this will help the racial wealth gap in America, but doesn't even say how. Like, literally, it's really crazy that that these politicians, they're really like not magicians, they really like motherfucking, what is the word for it? They really like, almost like psychiatrists, because the words they use and the way they say things is very, they do it in a very tricky way, in a very deceitful way, and making people think, the average person, you know what I'm saying, who not woke, quote unquote, whatever, you know what I'm saying, fall for this type of shit, because you saying that it will help the wealth gap, and then you go into a whole thing about, oh yeah, well, you know, the wealth in the average white household is this, a black household, and and then you want to get into a history lesson, all this other bullshit, but you didn't directly say how that policy will affect the racial wealth gap. How? You didn't say it because it won't, because it's bullshit. That's what it is. It's not, and it will not affect the black community specifically, because it's not an agenda specifically for the black community. It is not. It's not. You know what I'm saying? So you have to read between the lines with these fucking politicians, because they're very slick with their tongue. You know what I'm saying, about when they're answering shit. That's why they gotta make, when you ask them a simple question, just as, do you have a black agenda, they want to say, oh, well, instead of even just saying yes, you know what I'm saying, the first thing, well, both of them, you know what I'm saying, even, matter of fact, not even both of them, but Cory specifically said, oh, well, you know, as a black man, I da-da-da-da. He didn't even say yes, you know what I'm saying, there wasn't even a clear answer of yes, and to follow that, a clear answer of what it is. I got this policy set up for black people specifically, I want to invest this, I want to put funding towards this, specifically for black people. They don't want to do none of that. They want to say, oh yeah, well, it's something that's going to help low-income families. When we all know that low-income families include more than just black people. Like, they think we that stupid to think that all fucking families are just black people. All low-income families are just black people. No, there's not. Like I said, immigrants, white people, Asians, Hispanics, it don't fucking matter. Anybody can be a low-income family. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, no, that is not, you know what I'm saying? We moving on. Next one. This one is going to be real short. What's his name? Julian, I forgot what the fuck his last name is, but this one will be real short because this is pretty much flat out easy as hell.
This is not something that I think of through a political lens. I have long believed that this country should resolve its original sin of slavery, and that one of the ways we should consider doing that is through reparations for people who are the descendants of slaves. It is interesting to me that under our Constitution and otherwise, that we compensate people if we take their property. Shouldn't we compensate people if they were property sanctioned by the state? So I believe that is a conversation that's worth having. And I see that as right and wrong. I don't see that as political or non-political. If I'm president, what I said was that I would establish a task force to look at how that might be done. I know that there's a lot of disagreement, both about whether it should be done and if it were done, how it would be done. You know, I'm not naive about that.
That's a conversation, and that's why I said this was going to be really the quickest one, because how blatantly obvious does he not have a black agenda, nor plan on giving black reparations? Because a conversation worth having, motherfucker, it's been a conversation worth having, bitch. We've been having the conversations since 40 Acres and a Mule. What are you talking about? The conversation has been had. What are you talking about? Like, nigga, at this point, we're trying to figure out if the action is worth having, not the conversation. Yeah, the conversation is worth having. Bullshit. Blatant bullshit right in your goddamn face. He obviously know. He's not going for no goddamn reparations, because what do you mean there's a conversation? Yeah, you know, African Americans have gone through da-da-da-da. Yeah, it's a conversation worth having. No, it's a simple question. Yes or no? Do you believe in reparations? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Not, oh yeah, well, it's a conversation worth having. That's bullshit. That's keeping you floating in the air. Okay, maybe he will go for it. Maybe we can convince him to go for it. No. He don't want no motherfucking reparations. This ain't the first time reparations has been brought up in politics. Come on. So let's stop the jokes talking about it's a conversation we're having. That's bullshit. Next candidate, Bernie Sanders. Let's see what you get.
The question is, I'm not dodging the question. The question is, what do we mean by reparations? I mean, it seems to me a lot of people mean a lot of different things. To my mind, it means that we have to deal with the fact that there is enormous disparity between the black community and the white community, and that issue has got to be addressed. And I've indicated to you some of the ways that I think it should be addressed.
Well, I think they mean some type of economic empowerment to the African descendants of slaves.
But what does that mean, economic empowerment? I just talked about the fact that I would do my best to change the banking system to make sure that we end racism.
Create cash payouts.
No.
How much you want,
You agree
Charlamagne?
with that? Why don't you agree with that?
Well, first of all, you mean just a check to every African American?
Yes.
Well, then there's a check to every Native American who were nearly wiped out when the settlers first came here. I think the way we go forward is to build America together. There is a friend of mine, Jim Clyburn of South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
And Representative Clyburn came up with an idea, which I think we should build on. He called it 10-20-30, which says that you focus federal resources on those communities most in distress. And at the same time, you got to deal with institutional racism. I remember redlining, for example. If you're a small business person, I talked to a guy in Milwaukee last year, and he had, it seems to be a moderately successful business. I said, Bernie, black guy, I'm going to the banks. I can't get a loan. So we got to deal with racism and discrimination within the financial services committee, within the financial services industry.
Okay, first things first. And I don't even know if I'm going to put his whole clip in there, because this shit is kind of long. But they asked him, one, does he believe in reparations? The first thing he said come out of his mouth is, well, what do you mean reparations? What do you mean? Okay, let's get this straight. Bernie Sanders is a Jew. So, motherfucker, you know what the fuck reparations is if don't nobody else do. Nigga, you know. Your people done got them shits. I'm pretty sure some of your family probably fucking benefited from goddamn reparations. So, nigga, you know what the fuck reparations is. So, quit the bullshit talking about some, what do you mean? What do you mean by reparations? What do you mean? He says no. He blatantly says no, I don't believe in reparations. So there you have it. To focus federal resources in communities most in distress. Not black communities. Not black communities most in distress. He says most communities most in distress. What does that mean? What does most in distress mean? You know how many fucking communities is in distress? What the fuck? Oh my, the generalization of these fucking words is really ridiculous, and people are really falling for this bullshit. I see, and it's crazy because I see a lot of black people actually going for Bernie when he was running. When was he running? When Trump was running, right? When it was Trump, Hillary, and him, I think, right? So he was running. There was a lot of black people going for him just because he was giving them free weed and shit. I'm about to get into that in a second as well. This free weed shit, because he talks about this on the interview too. But I'm not gonna have that clip in there. But yeah, so. This motherfucker talking about some damn, we're gonna focus federal resources into families in distress. No, in distress. Again, that does not mean black communities specifically. LGBT communities are in distress. White low-income families are in distress. Immigrant families are in distress. Hispanic families are in distress. Asian families are in distress. What does that mean? That means nothing. That is literally has no backbone behind it. That means nothing for the black community. Not shit. He didn't say anything. Like I said, he didn't even say what he could have said, which was black income families in distress. I mean, black communities in distress. He could have at least said that. Nigga ain't even say that. Like, no. Trickery. We ain't falling for that bullshit. He also says, what did he also say? We need to deal with racism and discrimination in the financial service industry. Again, what does that mean? He didn't say that how he's going to fix it, how he plan, how a policy he wants to enforce to fix that. He says we need to deal with racism and discrimination in the in the financial service industry. Floating in the air, what does that mean? What do you mean you're going to deal with it? People have been talking about dealing with it for a long motherfucking time, but we still had redlining, we still have banks not giving loans, we still have a whole rack of discrepancies in the financial industry. So what do you mean you're going to deal with it in the financial industry? And then, matter of fact, he goes back and says, right after he says that, he's like, yeah, you know, a friend of mine, a black friend of mine, he has a small business. He's talking about how he couldn't get a loan. He wants to bring up redlining. Like, yeah, I remember redlining, shit like that. Like, all of this bullshit is just to bring us in. Like, oh, so you have a black friend that's being affected by loans not giving them, by banks not giving them loans? Oh, you know about redlining? That's what's supposed to reel us in. Bitch, I'm not getting reeled in by that. Fuck no, because it doesn't mean anything. You didn't say anything. All you're doing is saying that to make me think that you really are trying to enforce a policy that's going to change the financial service and the racial and discrepancies in the financial service industry. No, but you didn't say anything. You're not saying anything of substance to tell me that you actually want to change it. You're just saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna work on it. Like, what? No, it's just I know he's using this weed shit really to not only get the black vote, the young black vote, should I say, but also he's using this weed shit to get just the young vote in general. It's a lot of young people who's literally, I literally seen a tweet the other day that literally said, oh yeah, vote for Bernie. He's trying to give us free weed and trying to free black people. Free black people from oppression or some shit like that. And they had the clip, matter of fact, that I used for this clip, and I think another clip or some shit like that I'm using now, talking about, yeah, you know what I'm saying, how he's talking about the banking system and shit like that. And I'm like, yo, I fucking replied to him like, yo, that shit don't mean nothing. That does not mean I want to free black people. That does not mean, just because you're talking about prison reform does not mean that you want to free black men from our prisons. Does not mean that you want to stop black men from getting disproportionately locked up. That's not what he said. He didn't come out of his fucking mouth. Yeah, I want to stop black people from getting disproportionately locked up and charged at extremely higher rates than white people. He didn't say that shit. He just said, yeah, I want to work on motherfucking prison reform. That does not mean that though. Those are not the equivalent to the same thing. Matter of fact, going back to Cory Booker, that's what he said too. He was talking about prison reform and how they was building so many prisons when he was younger or some shit like that. And now that's slowed down or some shit like that. He's enforced policies where it's slowed down, what you call. Still, how does that directly affect the black community? Because, nigga, you could be locking up less white people to make room for more black people by that motherfucker. So again, how are you directly affecting the black community with that? It doesn't mean anything. No substance within it. And as far as the weed goes, I'm not going to even say nothing about this. I'm going to put in this clip of Dr. Umar breaking that shit down because he literally couldn't have said it any better. So I'm going to let him explain it for me, and I'm going to move on to the next cat.
The last thing you need to give an oppressed, lazy-ass people is another distraction to keep their ass oppressed and lazy. So you got black folks, we ain't got no schools, we ain't got no hospitals, we ain't got no banks, we ain't got no supermarkets, we ain't got no ships, we ain't got no distribution, we ain't got no factories, we ain't got no common sense. And on top of all that, you're going to give us the right to smoke weed all day long? We will never get to where we need to be if you give us recreational drugs. It is a political sedative. In slavery, the master made us go to church on Sunday. He didn't care about Jesus. But in church, they made you sing. In church, they made you clap. In church, they made you pray. In church, they made you dance. Do you know what the master was doing? He was making sure he exhausted all your revolutionary energy. So by the time you had to go back to the plantation Monday morning, you was happy again. He had to get that revolution out of you. He made you drink. You was made to get drunk during slavery to kill your revolutionary fervor. This recreation marijuana movement is a movement to kill the revolutionary passion of young blacks by hooking a whole generation on dirty marijuana. And the reason I say dirty marijuana, you ain't gonna sit here and tell me that the United States government doesn't have a plan to taint the drugs that come into the black community so that it affects black men's reproduction and affects black women's reproduction and causes cancer and everything else. If you think the food is killing us, wait 20 years from now when you start seeing the aftershocks of what the marijuana going to do to us. This is part of a bigger plan that ain't got nothing to do with you being happy and high.
All right, so next one will be Marianne, and this is going to be the last one I do. This is going to be the last person I do. Marianne, I think it's kind of tricking black people a little more because she is the only one who actually came out and said, yes, I believe in black reparations, and yes, I actually have a plan to enforce the reparations. Now, here's my problem with her fucking plan. Oh, oh shit, I'm tripping. Let's hear her plan out first, and then I'm gonna tell y'all what my problem is with her plan. Let's go.
$1 billion in reparations to Jewish organizations since World War II, and just as the United States has paid $20,000 in reparations to descendants of those who were in Japanese internment camps during World War II, I propose a $100 billion plan of reparations to be paid over 10 years. I submit that we should choose a council of esteemed African American leaders who were given over a 10-year period $10 billion a year, and this money should be dispersed as they deem most appropriate in order for economic and educational revitalization to be achieved within the black community. It's time.
All right, here's my first problem. 100 billion or 10 billion. She said 10 billion a year for 10 years. 10 times 10, that's 100 billion. So $100 billion. There is about 48 million from what I've seen or whatever, from what I've looked up. It's about 48 million black people in America. So even if we were to take it, let's just throw out the plan for a second. 100 billion for 48 million black people is about 2,000 give or take dollars for each black person, toward each black person. How the fuck is that going to affect? How is that going to help generational wealth? $2,000, nigga, that's less than what niggas is getting for their taxes. So let's get that clear. First of all, that's not even enough money, realistically, to help us create generational wealth. They said that. Matter of fact, I read somewhere. What the fuck did I read that at, or did I hear that at? That black people are like, we would need at least like 200 years to even catch up to white wealth in America, literally. So $100 billion, and she's talking about enforcing $100 billion within 10 years. Do you really realistically think that that would help us create generational wealth? Even if you were to put that in the right places, realistically, that's not even enough money to help us. Two, she's talking about getting a bunch of black leaders together to figure out where we want to black leaders from our community together and choose where we want to put where this money goes. Now, here's the thing about the black leaders. Usually first of all, we don't really have no goddamn black leaders. I talked about this in a Willie Lynch letter. We don't really have no real black leaders, to be honest. Second of all, even if they did pick the black leaders, even if they did choose the black leaders that we supposedly have, they're probably not going to be the most pro-black, conscious black leaders. They're probably going to be some coons. Let's just keep it a beat. They're going to be some fucking coons, to be completely honest. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be, you know what I'm saying, the motherfuckers in the communities that's actually trying to do something to make a change. It's going to be some Democrats. It's going to be some Republicans. It's going to be some, you know what I'm saying, some conservatives, some liberals. It's not going to be pro-black people who are really trying to push the community further. It's going to be people who are like-minded, like these politicians. It's like, oh yeah, well, we need to make sure the Americans, it's an American thing. We need to help all Americans. It's not going to be put directly back to the black community, most likely. Anyways, so I don't really like that idea anyways. And second of all, the thing about the black leaders, well, you didn't give that money. They didn't give that money to Jews. When they gave money to Jews, it went straight to them. It went straight to them motherfuckers, to the people, to the descendants of their ancestors and their ancestors. It went to them. It went to the people from the Holocaust. It didn't go to a group of motherfuckers that pick like 4 or 5 or 10, whatever the fuck amount of a group of Jews who decided where that money goes. No, it went directly to them. So why would it come to us? It gotta go to a group of people that's gonna decide for us where the money goes. Why? Like, I don't even understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even understand that. But it's because they want that control. Because, like I said, whoever they put in office, whoever they pick to be our black leaders to decide where this money goes, it's gonna be somebody controlled by them anyway. So either way, they're controlling our fucking money. No. I'm not having that shit. If they're gonna give us a check, if they're gonna give us 10 billion, 100 billion, 100 trillion, whatever the fuck the case may be, nigga, it need to come directly to us. Not no motherfuckers above that, you know what I'm saying, that's supposedly our fucking leaders, that's just gonna choose where the money needs to go. I'm not fucking with that. No, I'm not, especially if it's coming from them. I'm not fucking with it. I think she's tricking a lot of black people because of the simple fact that she's the only one saying I want to give y'all reparations. So that right there is automatically, you know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of people repost that clip. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We need to vote for her because she's trying to get us reparations, when really it's just a wolf in sheepskin, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? She's not really trying to, oh shit. Ooh, at least it didn't fall. Huh. Don't need more of those accidents. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? At least she's trying to do something for us. When that's really not the case. She's a wolf in sheepskin. You know what I'm saying? She's not really trying to do anything for us. She's trying to make it seem like she is, which is why she's like, yeah, I give y'all $100 billion. That ain't nothing. You take a little chump change, a little $2,000 a piece or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We put some coons in front of y'all and had them choose where the fuck y'all money about to go. Like, no. I'm not falling for that bullshit either, Marianne. Sorry, Marianne, but not today. I ain't falling for that. But the main things that all of these, or the common things that all of these politicians do, and which we have to look out for in the rest of in the future, you know what I'm saying, because they're going to continue to use these same tactics, is they want to, one, give us when they get asked a question about black people, black reparations, or black agenda, is one, talk in circles with this history lesson, and, you know what I'm saying, talk about everything else but the motherfucking question. You know what I'm saying? In each clip I use, all of them fucking did that. Oh yeah, well, you know, black people that have been the conscience for America. Well, you know, we've been through, you know what I'm saying, constitutional racism, and oh, you know, we started off on the wrong foot, or we had a late footing in America than the other people. We have to recognize that all of this bullshit ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm really fighting with, what the fuck? What is this? Oh, I hate that shit. How long has that been there? I ain't noticed. Oh my gosh. Gotta go. Anyways, all this bullshit ass, you know what I'm saying? I'm not racist. I know black history type bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The bullshit ass speech talk that they want to use. It's honestly kind of patronizing. It's honestly kind of condescending and belittling. Like, because they really think we stupid. You know what I'm saying? If I ask you a question, if I ask you what's 1 + 1, you ain't gonna say, oh, well, you know, numbers have been around for a long time, and what, you know, and not always 1 + 1 = 1, because you have theories that no, bitch, you gonna say 2. That's it. And that's gonna be the end of the goddamn question. So when it comes to black people, it needs to be that same way. If we can't get a straight answer from you, why the fuck are we even listening? We should not be listening. Oh, no, you lost my vote. Next, what'd you say? Oh, no, you lost my vote. What'd you say? You know what I'm saying? So let's really pay attention to what the fuck they're saying, because they will talk in circles all around you and never get to the point of what the fuck they're saying. That's why even Charlamagne called Cory out when he said that too. So, but do you really have a black agenda for the Americans? As a matter of fact, the girl who interviewed Kamala said the same thing. But do you really have a black agenda? You know what I'm saying? They had to repeat themselves, and they still didn't even ask the question directly. They talk right back in goddamn circles, because that's what these politicians do. That's what they were trained to do. And also, they always bring up 3 points. They bring up, if they're talking about a black agenda and they talking about how they want to improve black communities, whatever, they always bring up 3 things. HBCUs, healthcare, and what was the last one? HBCU, healthcare, and... oh, of course. I don't know how the fuck I forgot that one. HBCUs, healthcare, and prison reform. Those are the main 3 things Now here's some funny facts, some fun things about HBCUs though, because I literally had just watched this Vice documentary interview type shit on YouTube today about this white boy being the only white boy inside the HBCU. And I found out some fun facts, because then I went back and I Googled some more fun facts. Numero uno. There's a lot of HBCUs that are going white. Like, there's a lot of HBCUs that are actually becoming majority white students rather than black students. The matter of fact, the one he was at, Morehouse, they were saying within the interview, they interviewed a couple people, and a few of them were saying, like, yeah, for funding, they're trying to put money aside. I mean, they're putting money aside for funding to attract non-black students because they need more funding. So they're trying to get more students that's not black. Also, you have universities like Lincoln University, Garden State, St. Philip College. All of these universities have less than like a 20% student body. A lot of these colleges don't even have a lot of black people in them, like literally. It says I seen in one article, I think it was on Times or some shit, 1 in 4 HBCUs is a different race than the school it was intended to save, black people. So 1 in 4 HBCUs don't even have a lot of black people in them fucking schools. Do you think that's a coincidence that now all these politicians are saying, oh yeah, we're going to invest money in the HBCUs? Now, you know what I'm saying? Now everybody want to invest inside motherfucking HBCUs when they going white, when they being gentrified and shit. Now we want to put money in the HBCUs. Paul, you can miss me with that bullshit. Second of all, even if you are putting money into HBCUs, let's think about it. Firstly, not all black people go to college. That's number one. Secondly, the black people that do go to college, not all can get jobs. A lot of them, I'm not going to say not all, but a lot of them can't get jobs in the field that they got a degree in. Thirdly, motherfucker, we already talked about this. College usually doesn't produce entrepreneurs, doesn't produce CEOs. They produce the motherfuckers under the business. So they're producing workers. Where they getting more black workers? What we need is funding into black entrepreneurship, black funding into more black business so we can create more jobs for our own people. So we can be working under our own people and have CEOs and have entrepreneurs of our own. No, we don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, what are you talking about, HBCUs? Moving on, when they talk about healthcare, it's about the death maternal rates within the black community, but in the black community, which is women. And they're saying that it's more women dying now from childbirth than it is white women, or from any other way. So it's more black women dying than any other race from childbirth, which is definitely a problem. But I think, come on now, we got this whole Me Too movement, we got the feminist movement going on. I already did a video about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, is it really a coincidence that they're trying to gear a policy towards black women to get the black woman's vote on top of all this feminist bullshit, on top of all this Me Too bullshit? I mean, you can call it a coincidence if you like, but I fucking doubt it. Like, to be honest, it's not a fucking coincidence. It's not. You know what I'm saying? Especially with them saying, and I think another one, who says that? I'm not sure if it's Bernie or I'm not sure if it's Bernie or Cory who says that shit, who's saying that most babies are also dying at a higher rate, but that also is, if not directly correlated between black women, you know what I'm saying? Because those are their children, so that's almost directly correlated towards black women. So once again, it's the same agenda, you know what I'm saying, that they're trying to push with this whole feminism. No, we're not falling for that bullshit either. Prison reform. Not all black people are criminals, okay? And when you say that prison reform is directly going to affect the black community, that's what the fuck they're saying, that most black people are criminals. No, the fuck we ain't. Most of us ain't no goddamn criminals. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? We are disproportionately locked up as criminals and chastised and what's the word for? What's the other word? And criminalized. You know what I'm saying? And projected as criminals. But no, we're not all fucking criminals, baby. You know what I'm saying? We're fucking not. So unless they're saying, look, we have a specific thing for, you know what I'm saying, to enforce laws for where police officers. Between police officers and black men or black women, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of black women, you know what I'm saying, South Atlanta's not the only story where a black woman has been locked up, you know what I'm saying, and injustice has happened from it, you know what I'm saying, or got locked up for some unjust shit, you know what I'm saying? So they're not saying that we have a specific policy to stop that, to stop police brutality, to stop black men and women being locked up at higher rates than everyone else, to stop, because, you know, a lot of these, although we're being locked up at higher rates, we're also being exonerated at higher rates, because motherfucker, we won't be guilty when we get locked up, you know what I'm saying? So they're not saying anything to stop those statistics from, to do something to those statistics, better those statistics. They're saying we're just going to reform prison, which again does not just affect the black community. It affects everybody getting locked up. There's a lot of white people locked up. It's a lot of immigrants locked up. It's a lot of other communities that's locked up in these fucking jails. So everybody is going to be affected by this, not just black people. And if anything, it might not even just be everybody. It might just be for fucking white Americans. So the majority of people who are in not the majority of people in these jails, but the majority in this fucking country right now, at least, because they ain't gonna be for too much longer, but they're the majority. But you know what I'm saying? It can affect other communities than just the black community. Just saying prison reform does not mean anything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just to wrap this shit up, man, we need to get on the same code, man. We need to get this black agenda popping, for real. Everybody just get up on this agenda. We need to have a damn conference. You know what I'm saying? Like a black agenda conference type shit where all the black people from different parts of America can come together. You know what I'm saying? In D.C. or wherever the fuck we going to link at. And we're going to talk about this shit. We're going to get on the same page with this for real. You know what I'm saying? All the black leaders that they said we have need to come together with us so we can talk about this for real, because nobody wants to bring up the real issues. You know what I'm saying? The fact that the real issue is that black people need ownership. That we need our own shit. We need our own land. We need our own grocery stores. We need our own hospitals. We need our own distribution. We need our own, a lot of shit that we don't have. Not just more people working, not just more jobs or less people in prison. You know what I'm saying? That's not the only problems that we have in the black community. We need ownership, and none of these candidates said anything about that. Nobody said anything about giving land to black people. Fuck the goddamn mule. Nobody even said anything about giving land back to us. Would we deserve that? Nobody even said that, and that's the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? There's at least getting some fucking land. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? If they ain't talking about that, if they ain't talking about ownership of it, or even putting money into black banks, shit like that, then they're not really solving the problem. They're just keeping us still dependent on the system because we're not going to have our own shit. And that's bottom line what the fuck we need. And that's what's going to help us create generational wealth, having our own shit. You know what I'm saying? So even if we were to get reparations, that's what I'm saying. We need to get on the same code because we have to know, all black people have to know that, look, we need to put our money into this new black bank that we're going to build, into these new distribution companies that we're going to build, into this new grocery store that everybody needs to start going to and putting their money towards. You know what I'm saying? Into farmers, into, you know what I'm saying? All types of shit like that we don't have ownership of. More of the story, motherfucking ownership. That's what we need. You know what I'm saying? So, Lord, y'all, don't let these fucking politicians trick y'all. Let's not get Obama again. That's what we're not going to do. We're not going to get Obama again, okay? Because we got Obama twice, which was some bullshit. And I think at this point, everybody can pretty much say, whether you Republican, conservative, motherfucking liberal, Democrat, independent, whatever. I think everybody can pretty much say Obama didn't do shit for us at this point. I think everybody's on the same page with that. You know what I'm saying? So let's not do that again with the Kamala Harris, with the Cory Booker, just because they supposed to be the only black candidates and shit. Or let's not do that with the Bernie Sanders because he's giving us weed and shit. Let's not do that with the Marianne because she wants to give us reparations. Let's not do it with the Julian because he thinks reparations is a conversation worth having. Let's not fall for that shit this time, okay? Let's get action. Let's get shit behind this. You know what I'm saying? Let's get substance behind these so-called words and so-called policies that they're trying to push on us. We need it on paper, nigga. We need that shit in hand this time, all right? For real. We need real action behind these words this time. And that's what black people need to focus on in this next election. And as far as the election goes in general, no, I don't think, like, whoever the fuck they want as president is going to be president. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless if black people was going to vote for Obama to be president, he was going to be president. Same thing with Trump. Nobody thought Trump was going to win. Nigga, he won. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, whether you believe in the Illuminati and conspiracy, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? If you just know about the Electoral College, whatever the case may be, you know that whoever the fuck they choose to be as president will be president. It just is what it is. So I think voting on a local level is more important. Getting to know your sheriffs, your mayors, you know what I'm saying, the school, what is it called? Like the person that behind the school councils, I forgot, whatever the fuck they call. But the people in your community, local, state, that matters more than presidential. I think if anything, us not voting, especially if we don't have a candidate that's actually for us. Now, if we get a candidate if we have a candidate that's for us, which I don't think should be for either party, honestly. If we're going to have a candidate, I don't think it should be a Democrat or Republican. I think they need to be an independent party. They don't need to be associated with either or, because at the end of the day, you have to put whatever agenda you're pushing is going to be whoever's funding you. So if you're a Democrat, regardless of what the fuck you're saying, you're going to do whatever the Democrats want you to do because they the ones putting money in your pocket. If you don't do, they're going to stop putting money in your pocket. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to push whatever they want, which means that, if you're a Democrat or Republican, I'm really not going to vote for your ass anyways because I don't think you're doing shit for me. No way. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think if we were to get a candidate, I think we need to vote for him, whether it's an independent, whether it's motherfucking just somebody who's not even up for candidacy, just, you know what I'm saying, we need to prove a point, you know what I'm saying? So I think if we're going to vote for somebody, it needs to be somebody who's actually who actually has a black agenda, or we don't need to vote at all. Just don't fucking vote, to be honest. Like I said, the shit ain't gonna matter no way. The shit ain't gonna make no fucking difference no way, you know what I'm saying? But at least if we don't vote, it'll say something, you know what I'm saying, that we're actually trying, that we serious, that we actually trying to get our to get our black agenda in effect. You know what I'm saying? That we're actually trying to do something. We're actually on page. And that's going to scare the shit out of these motherfucking white people to know that we on code like that. So, yeah, either don't vote or vote for a motherfucker that's actually has a black agenda that's actually trying to do something for us, which I haven't seen any yet. So right now, I'm on the not voting fucking wave. I'm just not voting for nobody right now because ain't nobody motherfucking, and I ain't even touch on vaccinations and shit. I think Kamala and Bernie, both of them are for mandatory vaccinations, and I ain't fucking with no vaccinations. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't fucking with that. So yeah. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even touching on the policies. I ain't fucking with these niggas, but nigga, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah, y'all, just look and see these motherfucking candidates. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, vote on the local level, and you know, stay aware. You know what I'm saying? Read up on these motherfuckers, cause shit is getting real. It's getting real. It's been getting real for a while. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do y'all like any of these candidates? Do you think that any of these candidates actually do have a black agenda, actually will enforce a black agenda? Do you think black people deserve reparations? Do you think any of these candidates will actually give us reparations? You know what I'm saying? Do you think, even if it's not none of these candidates, sometime in the future, will we actually give reparations? Let me know in the motherfucking comments below, nigga. And let me know some more of their, if you know any more of the policies or bills that you're trying to push, anything that you don't like, anything I haven't touched on, leave all that shit in the comments below. Let me know. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, all that shit. Share this video, turn notification bells on, do all that shit. And yeah, man, I'ma see it when I see it. That's all I got. All right, y'all.
You have an agenda specifically for black people?
Well, a lot of it overlaps with my overall agenda, because I think that the freedom dividend and universal health care would go a long way. But I'm for getting rid of private prisons. I think it makes no sense to have prisons that have a profit motivation.
Why do y'all think all black people in jail?
I mean, again, that affects everyone.
Yeah.
I'm for dramatically increasing the federal allotment to HBCUs. Because the problem with education right now is it's become a business. And so what happens is schools end up benefiting by catering to the affluent because they'll donate more money and they can pay full freight and the rest of it. And so you have these HBCUs that have an incredible historical mission, have been shown to elevate hundreds of thousands of African Americans, but because they don't have these crazy endowments that some of the rich schools do, that they're struggling. Mm-hmm. And so the federal government can help shore that up. The government, in my mind, exists in part to counterbalance the excesses and perversions of the marketplace. And right now in American life, the market is just running amok. It's overrunning everything. And that's what we have to stop. And the one great way to stop that, get this dividend into everyone's hands, and that'll help us reclaim our democracy.
I just seen his after he just dropped this video, so I just seen his after I made the other video, but nigga, when Charlamagne said, why does everybody think black people are in jail? Nigga, I was like, thank you, yes, why does everybody think black people in jail? Come on. And you know what, he was stuttering this shit through this part, throughout the whole first half of this interview. I'm watching his video. I literally had just turned the screen recorder when I got to that part so I could rebuttal it right quick. But throughout the whole first part of this interview, he was not stuttering. He was speaking clearly. He was getting right to the point with the what you call it. And I'm actually saying, like, yo, this nigga sound like he talking about $1,000 a month. He talking about, you know what I'm saying? He just said something else. I got a couple things that I was like, all right, cool. You know, jobs. Getting rid of IAs, whatever, create more jobs, all this other shit. I'm like, okay, cool, we saw that. Soon as he get to the black agenda, prison reform and allotment to HBCUs. Don't fall for it, y'all. Don't fall for the bullshit. We ain't going forward to 2020. Don't fall for the bullshit, y'all. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't know you. Fuck on my face. Artificial niggas fake. Don't trust a pussy, give me face. Never save hoes, fuck a cake. You niggas fooled if you fuck with the crew. Play pussy, get 8. I'd rather die for the gang. Rise to the top with the gang. BCM be the squad. Gang. I'd rather die for the gang.